Hey, what's up guys? Steve here. And today we're going to take a look at the 50 highest selling 1987 through 1994 Michael Jordan basketball cards from the Fanatics weekly auction that ended on September 22nd. And we'll kick today's list off at number 50 with Michael Jordan's 1991 Fleer League Leaders card with card number 220. This was a PSA 9 that received 5 bids, and it sold for $22.80. Up next at number 49 is this 1990 Hoops Michael Jordan, card number 65. This was a PSA 9 that received 5 bids, and it also sold for $22.80. Coming in at number 48 is this 1993 Skybox Premium Michael Jordan, card number 45. This was a PSA 9 that received 6 bids, and it sold for $26.40. Up next at number 47 is Michael Jordan's 1994 Flair with card number 326. This was a PSA 9 that received 11 bids, and it sold for $27.60. Coming in at number 46 is Michael Jordan's 1991 Fleer with card number 29. This was a PSA 9 that received 9 bids, and it sold for $28.80. We get a card I don't believe we've ever seen on one of these weekly lists at number 45. With this 1993 Upper Deck Adventures in Toon World Act 5 Scene 8 Michael Jordan. This was a PSA 10 that received 10 bids, and it sold for $30. Up next at number 44 is Michael Jordan's 1993 Upper Deck Skylights with card number 466. This was a PSA 9 that received 10 bids, and it sold for $30. Coming in at number 43 is this 1992 Topps Gold Michael Jordan, card number 141. This was a PSA 9 that received 8 bids, and it also sold for $30 even. We're headed to the inaugural 1991 Upper Deck basketball set at number 42, with Michael Jordan's award winner holograms with card number AW4. This was a PSA 8 that received 8 bids, and it sold for $31.20. Coming in at number 41 is this 1991 Skybox Michael Jordan, card number 307. This Jordan was in a SGC 10 that received 6 bids, and it sold for $31.20. We get our first basketball card from the 1980s to kick off the top 40, with Michael Jordan's 1988 Kenner starting lineup. This was an SGC 8 that received 9 bids, and it also sold for $31.20. Up next at number 39 is Michael Jordan's 1993 Fleer Sharpshooter with card number 3. This was an SGC 9 that received 11 bids, and it sold for $32.40. Coming in at number 38 is this 1992 Upper Deck Fanimation featuring Michael Jordan and Larry Bird with card number 510. This was a CGC 10 that received 10 bids, and it sold for $37.20. Up next at number 37 is this 1992 Upper Deck Michael Jordan, card number 488. This Jordan was in a CGC 10 that received 7 bids, and it sold for $37.20. We get our first All-Star card at number 36, with Michael Jordan's 1992 Hoops All-Star card with card number 298. This was an SGC 10 that received 8 bids, and it sold for just over $40. Coming in at number 35 is Michael Jordan's 1991 Skybox, card number 334. This was a PSA 10 that received 8 bids, and it sold for $42 even. Up next at number 34 is this 1992 Upper Deck Michael Jordan, card number 453. This was a CGC 10 that received 9 bids, and it sold for $45.60. Coming in at number 33 is this 1991 Upper Deck Michael Jordan, card number 452. This Jordan was in a PSA 10 that received 9 bids, and it sold for $49.20. Up next at number 32 is Michael Jordan's 1993 Hoops, card number 28. This was a PSA 10 that received 7 bids, and it sold for just over $50. Coming in at number 31 is this 1989 Collegiate Collections North Carolina Michael Jordan, card number 15. This was a PSA 10 that received 15 bids, and it sold for $57.60. And we're sticking to the 1980s to kick off the top 30, with this 1989 Collegiate Collections North Carolina Michael Jordan, card number 15. This was a PSA 10 that received 16 bids, and it sold for $60 even. Up next at number 29 is this 1991 Skybox Michael Jordan, card number 583. This was a PSA 10 that received 15 bids, and it sold for $62.40. Coming in at number 28 is Michael Jordan's 1991 Hoops, card number 317. This was a PSA 10 that received 15 bids, and it sold for $64.80. Up next at number 27 is this 1991 Skybox Michael Jordan, card number 572. This was a PSA 10 that received 11 bids, and it sold for $86.40. Coming in at number 26 is this 1993 Finest Michael Jordan, card number 1. This was a PSA 9 that received 13 bids, and it sold for $91.20. We're back to the 1980s at number 25 with this 1988 Foreigner Estrellas Rule Card Michael Jordan. This was a PSA 10 that received 9 bids, and it sold for $96 even. Up next at number 24 is Michael Jordan's 1990 Fleer, card number 26. This was an SGC 10 that received 9 bids, and it sold for just short of $100. Coming in at number 23 is this 1990 Panini Michael Jordan sticker, sticker number 91. This was a PSA 10 that received 14 bids, and it sold for $110.40. Up next at number 22 is Michael Jordan's 1993 Ultra Famous Nicknames with card number 7. This was a PSA 9 that received 13 bids, and it sold for $115.20. Coming in at number 21 is this 1992 Upper Deck Michael Jordan, card number 23. This was a PSA 10 that received 20 bids, and it sold for $156. And kicking off the top 20 of today's list is Michael Jordan's base card from the 1990 Skybox basketball set with card number 41. This was a PSA 10 that received 19 bids, and it sold for $156. We're back to the 1980s at number 19 with Michael Jordan's 1987 Fleer sticker with sticker number 2. This was a PSA 8 that received 10 bids, and it sold for $174. Coming in at number 18 is Michael Jordan's 1990 Kenner starting lineup. This yellow variation was in a PSA 9 that received 18 bids, and it sold for $180. Coming in at number 17 is this 1993 Stadium Club Beam Team Michael Jordan, card number 4. This Jordan insert was in a PSA 8 that received 18 bids, and it sold for $186. Up next at number 16 is Michael Jordan's 1991 Fleer, card number 29. This was a PSA 10 that received 8 bids, and it sold for just short of $200. Coming in at number 15 is this 1993 SCD Multi-Sport Pocket Price Guide Michael Jordan, card number 55. This was a PSA 9 that received 19 bids, and it sold for $276. We're back to the mid-90s at number 14 with this 1994 Skybox Emotion Intense Michael Jordan, card number 3. This was a PSA 9 that received 18 bids, and it sold for $300 even. Coming in at number 13 is Michael Jordan's 1992 Stadium Club Beam Team insert with card number 1. This was a PSA 8 that received 16 bids, and it sold for $312. Up next at number 12 is this 1992 Ultra Award winner Michael Jordan, card number 1. This was a PSA 10 that received 13 bids, and it sold for $360. Coming in at number 11 is this 1993 Stadium Club Members Only Michael Jordan, card number 169. This Jordan was in a PSA 10 that received 12 bids, and it sold for $384. And kicking off the top 10 of today's list is this 1993 Skybox Premium Center Stage Michael Jordan, card number CS1. This was a BGS 9.5 that received 20 bids, and it sold for just short of $500. Up next at number 9 is Michael Jordan's Refractor from the 1994 Finest Basketball set with card number 331. This refractor was in a PSA 7 that received 27 bids, and it sold for $576. We're back to the 1980s at number 8, with Michael Jordan's base card from the 1989 Fleer basketball set with card number 21. This was a PSA 10 that received 17 bids, and it sold for $810. Coming in at number 7 is this 1993 Finest Michael Jordan Refractor, card number 1. This refractor was in a BGS 8.5 that received 20 bids, and it sold for $990. Up next at number 6 is this 1992 Stadium Club Beam Team Members Only Michael Jordan, card number 1. This was a PSA 9 that received 25 bids, and it also sold for $990. And kicking off the top 5 of today's list is this 1993 Ultra Scoring Kings Michael Jordan, card number 5. This was a PSA 8 that received 17 bids, and it sold for $1,020. Up next at number 4 is this 1987 Fleer Michael Jordan, card number 59. This was a PSA 9 that received 19 bids, and it sold for $1,260. Coming in at number 3 is Michael Jordan's 1990 Action Pack Promos Gold. This was a PSA 9 that received 40 bids, and it sold for $1,680. Up next at number 2 is this 1994 Upper Deck Nintendo Michael Jordan. This was a PSA 10 that received 35 bids, and it sold for $2,070. And we're back to the 1980s to top today's list off at number 1, with this 1988 Fleer Michael Jordan, card number 17. This was a PSA 10 that received 39 bids, and it sold for $2,760. Thanks for joining me today, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.